most twisted way your family dealt with grief. I was 15 when my brother's pregnant ex-girlfriend moved in. My brother had been gone for 3 weeks, a sewer slide that no one saw coming. We had just been planning what movie to watch on New Year's Eve, and 6 days later, I was standing outside the funeral home, crying into my comfort blanket. I was sitting at our kitchen table when Mom announced that Sarah, Connor's ex-girlfriend, would be moving in. She's 4 months pregnant, Mom said. Like that explained everything. It's what Connor would have wanted. Let's make her feel welcome. So I tried to make her feel welcome. When Sarah walked in carrying just 2 suitcases, her hand on her small bump, I helped her wheel them into the house. She never called our parents Mom and Dad when Connor was alive, but suddenly she was sobbing into my mother's arms saying, "Mom, I don't know what I'd do without you." They gave her Connor's old room immediately. At dinner, she took a seat without asking, and Dad instructed me to give her Connor's favorite mug for her decaf coffee. "I know this is hard, sweetie," Mom said when she caught me staring, "but Sarah and the baby need us." The next few months were hell. I buried the unbearable pain of grief under good grades and fake smiles. I bit my tongue when my parents transferred my entire college fund to Connor's baby's fund, without a second thought. When Sarah asked to wear Connor's clothes, I said yes through gritted teeth, said it made her feel closer to him. My parents gave her everything: his car, his laptop, access to his bank accounts, all for the baby. Mom didn't notice when I started failing my classes and wearing long sleeves. She was too busy planning baby showers and prenatal appointments. Meanwhile, I was playing the same Beatles song on my Alexa for hours every day. Here Comes the Sun, Connor's favorite. Every night at dinner, I smiled while she sat in his chair and told stories about him that didn't sound right. I still started iMessage games in our chat every night, even though I knew I was just playing with myself. And my parents screamed at me for going to the cemetery and refusing to let go of the past. So I always went alone with my blanket, napping beside his grave like it was his bedroom floor. Sarah tried to give me advice, like Connor would have, but Connor never gave advice. He just listened and made stupid jokes until I felt better. The breaking point came on what would have been Connor's 18th birthday. The Arctic Monkeys, Connor's favorite band, was having a concert near us, and I was planning to scream all the lyrics to his favorite songs. But when I mentioned it at breakfast, Sarah's face tightened. Actually, I've already rented the lake spot for my gender reveal party on the same day. Connor would want us celebrating new life, not dwelling on death. I begged my parents to let me go to the concert and the gender reveal party. Mom looked at me like I was insane. How could you try to ruin this for Sarah? Dad slammed his coffee mug down. Connor's baby is our future. You need to stop living in the past. You will be at the party. You will smile and you will stop making everything about your grief. Something in me finally snapped. Connor didn't even want kids yet. He told me he wanted to wait until, well, Connor isn't here to want anything, is he? Sarah interrupted, her perfect widow mask slipping for just a second. I knew there was no reasoning with them, so I sighed and went to take a depression nap in my room. When I woke up at 1 a.m., I staggered over to my shelf to look at my hidden box of Connor's things, except it wasn't there. It was like it had disappeared. Concert tickets, photos, the silly friendship bracelet he made me had all vanished into thin air. I brought it up at breakfast the next day. Sarah just smiled. "I donated them because you were having trouble letting go." My parents nodded approvingly. I took another 4-hour nap. The gender reveal was torture. Sarah announced the baby would be Connor Jr., and everyone cooed while I wanted to scream. That night, while following my routine of stalking his Facebook and wondering what I could have done differently, I realized something. I didn't want to forget Connor's voice, so I did what any rational teenager would do in that situation. I broke into his laptop to look for audio files he might have of him talking, but what I found made me sick. Browser history full of searches about leaving a pregnant partner. Screenshots of Sarah's text to someone saved as mic work, with hearts and planning meetups. Connor had been tracking her location. He'd figured out she was lying about where she went. There were journal entries about feeling trapped, about Sarah mentioning his life insurance policy too often, about his coffee tasting weird. The last entry was dated the day before he died. The letter in our spot, the attic crawl space where we used to hide during Mom and Dad's fights. I waited until 2 a.m. and crept up there, using my phone's flashlight. Behind the loose board where we used to stash candy, there was an envelope with my name on it. If you're reading this, something happened to me. I need you to know the truth about Sarah.